What's good? This is JVB representing SPD, and that is SportsPerDiem.com. The UFC finally made to Fight Island this past Saturday for UFC 251, and it was a pretty successful show. In the main event, Kamaru Usman successfully defended his UFC welterweight championship, defeating Jorge Masvidal via unanimous decision. Now, Jorge Masvidal is coming out, and he's acknowledging that he lost. He lost to the better man that night. He shook his hand after the fight, but he wants a rematch. Now, UFC 251, it was presented to us as a big show. It was the very first show on Fight Island, and there were 3 title fights. So I knew UFC 251 was going to do pretty decent business, but putting Jorge Masvidal on that card last minute to challenge Kamaru Usman for the UFC welterweight championship, we knew they had bad blood going into the fight. It raised the show's profile that much more. And we saw it in the buy rates where it did over 1 million buys. With that said, should Jorge Masvidal get what he wants? He wants an immediate rematch because he believes that he is the better man and he wants to prove it. So should Jorge Masvidal get an immediate rematch? I love Jorge Masvidal. I love this career resurgence from journeyman to superstar. This man's on the cover of the next UFC video game. He's made it big. But should he get an immediate rematch? Nah. I honestly believe that the UFC will do Kamaru Usman against Gilbert Burns next. So where would that leave Jorge Masvidal? I think the no-brainer fight the UFC should do is Jorge Masvidal against Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards was supposed to fight Tyron Woodley right around all the COVID shit. Once all the coronavirus shit hit, that's when the fight's supposed to happen. I believe that was in March. I'm not too certain about that, but that fight got canceled. So then there were talks about Kamaru Usman defending his UFC welterweight championship at Fight Island against Leon Edwards, but with travel issues and everything, being in England, Leon Edwards didn't take the fight. That's when the UFC gave it to the next man in line, and that man being Gilbert Burns. It would have made for a very intriguing fight because currently these two guys have the longest win streaks in the welterweight division. And oh, by the way, the last man to defeat Leon Edwards early in his UFC career was a young Kamaru Usman. It would have made for an intriguing story and all, but the fight to make for Leon Edwards is Jorge Masvidal. We all remember what happened last year in March, the altercation between Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards backstage. The whole birth of the 3-piece and the soda quote from Jorge Masvidal. We never got that fight. We got that backstage altercation. We had those guys talking shit on Twitter and everything, social media, but we never got an actual fight. Now is the time to make that fight. These guys still don't like each other. Leon Edwards talking shit about Jorge Masvidal's BMF title. And let's not forget that these are 2 of the best welterweights in the world. I believe it's a very even matchup between the 2, and I love to see it. So Jorge Masvidal, I love you and all, but you don't deserve an immediate rematch. That fight should be Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns because Gilbert Burns has earned that opportunity. And in my opinion, the next fight to make is Jorge Masvidal taking on Leon Edwards. If Jorge Masvidal goes out and he beats Leon Edwards, then we could talk about a title fight. But right now, nah. But I'm out. Like the video and share the video. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take it easy. God bless. Peace.